Well, we are live. I am live at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which I'm thankful for. Shop talk. Let's hang out for a couple minutes, and see who shows up. Give me a shout out when you get here. Let me know where you're calling from, or where you're watching from. I should say, you're not calling me, but Shop Talk, 8 o'clock p.m. What's the date? Oh, yeah. Tuesday, the 24th of March. The last Shop Talk for March. How many of you are excited that the weather looks like it's finally going to stay decent? I know I am. Well, the last time that I did a shop talk, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't really sure about my schedule at work because it changed again, believe it or not. Some reason that feels weird. As you can see, we are still at 8 o'clock, which I'm thankful for because I did, in fact, go back to third shift, but they put me on a different route because I requested a different route. It actually starts later in the day, later at night. Instead of 8:30, it starts at 9:30, which allows me to keep my shop talk at 8 p.m. Originally, over a year ago when I started this, I was doing it at 7 p.m., and I think that was probably too early for a lot of people because, especially out on the West Coast, if you tune in, you're still like finishing up your work day. 8 o'clock just seems like a better time for everybody to be able to tune in, and so I'm pretty thankful that my work schedule, I was able to go back to nights. Literally just started that 2 days ago, and I don't see really any reason why it would change again for a while, and I'm pretty excited about that because, believe it or not, I really like working third shift. Like, the work I do, it just works better for me. So on the show today, if you stick around, I have some big news from GM, and we're going to talk about the two different platforms coming up from GM, which is the Grand Sport and the Grand Sport X. As you know, I try to kind of hold on to talking about stuff until I got confirmation, or I get confirmation from a legitimate source. And my source is usually GM Authority. I get an email every day from them, and there's a whole lot of information on the internet that ends up being somebody's idea or rumor. And so I try not to get involved in a lot of that just because I try real hard to keep the information on Shop Talk legit and accurate. Now, I have made several mistakes before because I'm human. And I've come back on here and apologized for making mistakes. So, I just want to make sure that the information I bring you is accurate. So, again, we're going to stick around for the end because I'm going to talk about information that I got from GM Authority about the Grand Sport. However, there are a few things that I want to talk about first, as always. And, I am tickled to death that we are finally, looks like we are on the downslope of getting through winter. Man, it's been a long winter. and I'm ready for it to be over with. Not only was it a long, hard, cold winter, but I had to work day shift out in this weather. So two things. I'm glad it's over, and I'm also glad I went back to third shift. So anyway, 2 weeks ago, I at the end of my show, I told you about an upcoming show in Cincinnati. And I didn't really want to give a whole lot of information about that or talk too much about it, because I had plans to surprise a couple of my friends that had cars in that show. And I was worried that if I said it on Shop Talk, they would find out. Now, I do understand there are a lot of people that don't watch the show, and I'm okay with that, because we are in the process of growing, and sometimes there are growing pains. I'm not growing as fast as I'd like to, and that's okay, because sometimes it takes a while to find your audience, to find the people that really dig what you are doing. Right now I have, I believe, about 625 subscribers, and I'm hoping that that grows again more this year. I don't know why that happened, but my computer just flashed. I hope nothing's wrong. Anyway, so yeah, wow, that was weird. So I went to the show down in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this car right here ended up actually being one of my favorite cars there. Except for the fact that my two friends that have their cars there, they're pretty incredible. Kim has a 1969 double copo, and Dale has a 1968 396 Camaro Casper. I'll show you those pictures in a minute, but this would probably, the photograph here that I have up is probably my third favorite car at the show. And again, it's a Camaro, a 69 with a supercharger on it. This thing is incredible. If you watched any of my lives from the show, you'll see that. And the other really cool thing is Dukes of Hazzard was there. See, I was trying to, up here on the stage behind, they aren't up there yet, but John Snyder and Catherine Bach were up there signing autographs and taking photographs with people, which is pretty cool. And then they also had the sheriff's car, Roscoe Pico train, and Boss Hogg's Cadillac. I don't have those photos. I didn't save those photos, so I went ahead and just kept a couple photos from the show. If I keep every photo, my library will be just crazy full. So anyway, this was really cool to be able to see the General Lee at that show. And then I have a couple of pictures of some friends. This is Kim. This is Dale with the white car. And this is another friend from the Camaro Club. Came up from West Virginia to hang out. So, Sheila. Anyway, that's a couple pictures of them. And this is Kim with his 69 double copo. And this is Dale with his 68 396 Casper. So, yeah, I didn't want to say anything about it, like I said, because I knew I was going. And I didn't want it to get back to them that I was going to be there. So I wanted to show you that real quick and tell you that that was pretty amazing. Now, moving forward, the upcoming weekend that is ahead of us, which is this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 27, 28, 29. My car, Mr. Grinch, is going to be in a car show here locally in Fort Wayne called the Rod and Custom Show. And like, I was tickled to death to be able to get Mr. Grinch out and take him. Actually drove him to church, and that was pretty cool. And then, of course, it snowed again, and we had to, like hide away for a minute. But then, so again, this is my first car show where I'm actually serious about it. I've gone to many car shows. I just put my car in as a show and shine. I pay $25. I go, I set it, I pop the hood. Like whoever wants to look at it, fine, look at it. But this year, I decided to go for an actual car show style car, and I got Mr. Grinch, and that's the car that I plan on seriously showing, and so. Last year, I met a guy, one of my neighbors, and he works for a local millionaire here in Fort Wayne, and he's worked for him for 25 years. And it's called, I know I have a video on YouTube from last year, September. And it's called Exotics. And in that video, you could meet Sean, but my friend Sean, I stopped by his house because it was nice one day. He was out in the garage, and I told him that I had a car show coming up, and he said, well, that's kind of funny. I've got one too. It's this weekend. And I said, well, we're in the same car show. He's got to put his boss's Resto Mod Corvette in the show. And his job, him and one of his friends, Steve, their job is to take care of this guy's 35 car collection. That's what they do. They clean them, they change the oil, they make sure they run. If the boss calls up on the phone and says, I want to drive the Lamborghini Huracan, they get it prepped and ready to go, check the air pressure and the tires, they pull it out front, and the dude drives off in his car. That's what Sean's job is. So he knows how to clean cars. Trust me. He was cleaning cars at the local Cruise Auto Auction up here in Auburn, and that's how his boss met him. So that was a little bitty quick side note. Well, the dude's my friend, right? I am lucky enough to have this guy as my friend. And so I decided, I told him about the car. He's like, dude, you got to bring it by, because he didn't know I had it. So I went by over there, and he's like, oh my goodness, man. He said, you got some cleaning to do. And I was like, I know. That's what I'm planning on doing tonight and all day tomorrow to get it ready for next week. And he's like, you got some serious cleaning to do. And I'm like, yeah. So long story short, I took my car home that night, Friday night, and I took the hood liner out that I just put a cover on of Mr. Grinch. Took the hood liner out, and I got out the steam cleaner, and I steamed under the hood of Mr. Grinch and got my brushes out and the nitpicky, I cleaned up all the black vinyl, all the rubber hoses. I cleaned all that stuff and just got elbow deep in it. And Sean offered to help me clean the outside of the car on Saturday, which was pretty incredible. So this photograph here is Mr. Grinch in the garage with the hood cover off. You can see the hood cover's not there. And that's where I set up to do the steam clean. And I just got elbow deep in it, right? So I did that. And then the next morning, I had an appointment to go get my windows tinted for Mr. Grinch. Because, again, I'm trying to dial in several things and get the car ready. So this is Mr. Grinch waiting to go into the Top Line Auto Salon, which I highly recommend. Alan takes real good care of me. I've gone to him for at least the last 5 or 6 years, and he's probably done 6 or 8 of my vehicles. Every vehicle that I've had since probably 22, he's done the window tint. And I had a Jeep for a month. He did the window tint, and then I traded it in on something else. So he's always quick to, help me get my window tint. Window tint is definitely not something that I would ever try, because it takes somebody with knowledge and knowing what they're doing. So Mr. Grinch went in and got window tint. And, these are just a couple photographs of that. And I was able to grab a couple of short videos of Alan, doing his thing in the shop. I am going to put out a video for my YouTube channel of, basically walking you through the steps of window tint. It's something that I think is very meticulous, and I don't ever want to try to actually do it myself. So I have Alan and Top Line Auto Salon do it for me, because they know what they're doing. And so, yeah, this is the back of Mr. Grinch. It looks like just a short little video of them getting it done. And I just wanted to throw these videos up real quick. They're really just small little segments of what they do. It takes a couple of hours, and they perfect it. And if there's ever anything wrong with it, and I have had things wrong with it before, because sometimes window tint is a little bit picky. Like, you get it and you do it and you think it's good, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, something happens and a corner comes up and it doesn't sit right, or it doesn't seal right. So I've taken it back to Alan, and he definitely will go ahead and just fix it. And also, he's always quick to put my stickers on. I'm even not comfortable putting stickers on. If you don't follow me on Instagram, this is my Instagram, my 2 bow ties. You can find me on Instagram. I've got about 8,000 followers. That's him putting the sticker on the side of Mr. Grinch to color match, because that's how I roll. So this is Mr. Grinch backing out with the window tint. And I'm telling you what, with the fact that I got wheels, the wheels are better now from Wheelcraft, black chrome, and the window tint. The car, even in this photograph, looks incredible. However, I will tell you this, Sean agreed to help me clean my car. And when I say help me clean the car, he actually gave me the ability to learn how to do paint correction. Now, I'm 59 years old, and I have always wanted to try to do paint correction on a vehicle. And I have a Cadillac, the Camaro, and the Corvette. All 3 of them need paint correction done to them because they're old enough. They need it done. So my idea was I was going to study up on it, buy the stuff that I needed, and I was going to do the Cadillac, because the Cadillac is my daily, and it's a 2018. I don't think it has had any paint correction done for a while, because it looks like it hasn't. So my intention was I was going to do the Cadillac, right? And then once I was comfortable with the Cadillac, I was going to do the Camaro, and then, of course, the Corvette, in that order. Well, Sean, again, has 35 years of detail experience, knows how to do all that stuff. He's like, bring your car to my house tomorrow after your window tint appointment. We're going to paint correct your car. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, the dude just out of the blue basically gave up his Saturday to teach me how to do paint correction. And I'm pretty excited about that. So I went over to his house, right? And we, first of all, we started off with washing it. We literally got a clay bar towel. I had a clay bar towel already, and he had a clay bar mitt. And we washed Mr. Grinch. That was the first wash since I bought him. We washed him head to toe, top to bottom, front to back. We scrubbed, right? And then we dried it. And then we pulled it inside the garage. And I think that's Sean. He's finishing up, rinsing off the wheels. He didn't really. So I pull the car in. This is inside his garage, and we went to doing paint correction. Now, I don't have any video to show you today for that, but I will have a video coming out soon on what we did. First of all, we went around and he found the major scratches on the car, and then he buffed those out. So there are different levels of paint correction, and the first section or the first level is you need to fix the scratches. So he fixed the scratches because it was something that I wasn't comfortable doing, and with his expertise, he did it, which is fine. And then we went to doing the paint correction, and it took 4 hours. But I'm telling you, this car is just absolutely incredibly beautiful now, because we did paint correction and then we put a polish on it. This picture here shows where he marked the spots with tape to show where there was a scratch, where they needed fixed before we went on to paint correction. Again, I have a video coming out. And then we just spent like literally 4 hours doing paint correction and polish on this car. And I know it's hard to explain until you actually see it, but if you would have seen the car before and then you see it after, you just absolutely know and understand that it's incredible. That's all I got to say. Like, it's just amazing. I left there, and of course I went for a photo shoot outside in the sun. I took a towel with me, and I found a couple spots where there was still a little bit of polish left on it. I did that, and made sure that I got it all going on. So that's what I did last Saturday. I was elbow deep in cleaning this car for a day and a half. Like, Friday underneath the hood, Saturday all day doing paint correction and getting the outside ready. So I don't know if you guys have ever done that or if you ever had a chance to do that, but it's pretty self-gratifying to be able to do that to your own car and then stand back and look at the results. And I think it's going to be pretty incredible. There's a few, I have several photos, but I like these different angles, and this is probably one of my favorites. I mean, you can't see a speck on it right now. Now, there were a couple of spots that we missed, and I have since then fixed that. And again, all of that was in preparation for the show this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Thursday, when I get back from Chicago, I am going to take Mr. Grinch down there to the Coliseum, and that's where I've already pre-registered, so I'll get the opportunity and the chance to move my car inside the building and set it up. As you can see, all these cars are lined up in their space, and I'll be able to do that and get Mr. Grinch in there, which I'm excited, but I'm also kind of nervous because I don't really know what to expect at this point because I've never done this. But I am also really excited about it because it's pretty cool, right? I'm excited to have that opportunity. So that's a lot to say. Let me get a drink. And, then, of course, we can move on into the main topic of this particular shop talk. I said we were going to talk about the Grand Sport. So before I go on to that, I do want to touch on something else real quick. Now, again, there are always rumors, and I'm a Camaro / Corvette guy. I like Chevys. I ran into somebody recently, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, did you see the 2027, Camaro Z28?" Yeah, I saw it. I saw the fake news on the internet. I saw the people putting out false information. I saw people putting out stuff that they thought they know about. But I also, I understand that there's always people out there that want to be they want you to think they have the upper hand. They want you to think that their information is more important than anybody else's. And you heard it first here, okay, no, I didn't. GM has been saying since they shut down the Camaro in 24, they've been saying that the president of GM wants to bring back the Camaro. Okay, great. All of us Camaro people want you to bring back the Camaro. But then way down at the bottom of the article, it says nothing has been confirmed. Okay, what does that mean? That means nothing's been confirmed. There's rumor has it. People talk about it. People use AI to create an image of what they think it would be cool to have it's 27 Z28 Camaro. And I think some of them look really good. Like if they bring back the Camaro and they make a Z28 Camaro, it's going to be cool. There's no doubt about that. But everything that I've read is they talk about it. They throw it around at meetings. It leaks through the press that they're talking about it. But then at the very end of the article that the press puts out says they're not doing it. It's not confirmed. So I don't want to say that there aren't people out there that do have an inside scoop. There might be 5 people that know for sure it's coming out. But as far as I'm concerned, until GM makes the announcement that they're doing it, I'm going to stick with it's not happening. So if I'm wrong, I'll come on here and tell you, hey, I finally found out. I finally heard, they are going to build the Camaro Z28. But at this point, it's a little frustrating. I shouldn't let it frustrate me because I'm not the one that's putting out the information. I'm not the one that is saying, oh, they're going to do it, but not know for sure if they're going to do it, Even dealerships sometimes don't even really know what's going on until they really know what's going on. So it's the same thing with the E-Ray. Anything that they release, any kind of new thing they release, nobody really knows until GM says, hey, by the way, we're going to build this car. And, you've seen the photographs of cars running around they have camo on them, right? And people speculate, I think that's the new, the new ZR1, or that's the new ZR1X, or that's the new ZR1, and then all of a sudden GM says that's the ZR1X. You guys were all wrong. It's the ZR1X. It's got a front electric motor. Well, we've been going through the same thing now for the last 4 or 5 months on the new release of the C8 Grand Sport. And finally, everybody's speculation and everybody's ideas has finally been like documented and confirmed by GM. They are in fact going to make it, and they have started to put out images of it. This is an image of the C8 Grand Sport. And here's the other really cool part. Not only are they going to make a Grand Sport, but they've announced that they're going to make a Grand Sport X. The Grand Sport X is the replacement for the E-Ray. They're going to go, the E-Ray in 27, according to what I read, is going away for 27. If you didn't get an E-Ray in 2026, you will be forced to either buy a used one or never get one because they're going away in 2027. Now, it's kind of funny because here it is March, right? January, February, March, and they're already talking about 27, which is next year. But that's the way that's the way things work when they release stuff. They are going to put a bigger engine in it. And again, I've gone back and forth with this. I said I made the mistake of saying a 6.6. It's not a 6.6. It's a 6.7 and V8, right? And I had to come on here and apologize for getting that wrong. And I've had arguments with people face to face about it. Everyone says 6.6. No, it's a 6.7. And the reason I know is because I got it wrong. And I corrected myself because I read the articles correct again. 6.7 liter V8, the new LS6, new generation small block by GM in the Grand Sport. Now they're saying, let me look at this real quick. They're saying that it's going to be 535 horsepower, right? The 6.7 liter LS6 V8 engine, good for 535 horsepower, right? I read it. It's right here in front of me. I'm reading it from GM Authority. That's what they've decided. Now, the Grand Sport X, okay? The Grand Sport X means that it's going to have an electric motor in the front. Now, the first generation electric motor in the E-Ray up until 2026 was 160 horsepower. Then when they put it in the ZR1X, they upgraded and made it better and made it 186 horsepower. The electric motor in the ZR1X is 186 horsepower. Combined with the 1,064 horsepower flat plane crank, it makes 1,250 horse to the back wheel, right? Okay. Now, if you put the 535 horsepower 6.7 LS6 V8 in a car with a front motor that has 186 horsepower, it now is going to put out 721 combined horsepower in the Grand Sport X. Now, I don't know about you, but I guarantee you, I feel like, I can't guarantee anything because I don't know. I don't run GM. They're going to put a whole lot more of these cars out than they do the ZR1 and the ZR1X, which means more people will be able to get their hands on these cars, which that's pretty cool. Now, as far as right now, I have not been able to find any pricing anywhere. So we don't have any idea. I don't have any idea. I think it's probably going to be in the 140, 160 range, maybe more than that. Again, I don't know because obviously every year things increase in price. And the Grand Sport it isn't just going to be a regular Stingray. It's going to have the wide body like the Z06 and the E-Ray had. It has graphics on it, it added things to the car because it's a Grand Sport. The black, the blue, Laguna blue, they're bringing that color back because from these photographs you can see there are 5 different generations in these photographs of the Grand Sport, all of them in blue. I don't have the information in front of me, but I think just from looking at this photograph, I'm thinking C2. Is that a C2? This might be a C4. This is I believe, a C6, and I know that's a C7. And then, of course, leading the pack in this photograph is the C8. Again, if you look at these side photos, you see the red stripe on the fender. That's kind of a staple that they show, what it is right here. Like you could see that right there on the back fender, you could see the red stripe. And most of those cars have that, so it's kind of one of those ways to be able to tell. And I know a lot of them some of them came with gold rims on them too, because again, those are things that you can tell from years past what they are and how they build them. But anyway, I wanted to just put that out there, holy moly. A couple weeks ago, the last 2 shows I did, I keep talking about the E-Ray because I think any car that has all-wheel drive, 500 horse to the back wheel and 180 to the front wheel ballpark, any car that has that, it's just gonna be a rocket ship. And I think the E-Ray, obviously those numbers aren't correct for the E-Ray, but I'm just throwing out the new numbers. But anyway, I just think that this car is going to be incredible. And I wonder how many years they're going to do it, because then, rumor has it last year they were talking about when are they going to start making the C9. So speculations say 2029, 2030. So if they start making the Grand Sport in 2027 and they make them for 2 years, 27, 28, maybe 3 years, 29, and then they come out with the C9, this is going to be pretty epic if you ask me. I think people are going to go crazy about this car because it's going to be even more doable. It's going to be more, you have more of a chance of getting your hands on a Grand Sport, I think, than the few people that are going to be able to buy the ZR1 and the ZR1X, because those are just way over the top expensive, $250,000. There's going to be a handful of people that can get those cars because, they can. The Grand Sport, I think, is going to be more of the upper middle class, whatever, the working man that can actually get his hands on one. And for me, I'm still looking to, be able to get an E-Ray. I'm in love with the E-Ray. If I were to buy a C8 right now, if I didn't have any other car and I was going to just focus on one car, it would be an E-Ray. I guarantee you that. That's how I feel about it right now, just because of all the research that I've done. Have I driven one? No. Would I like to? Yes. And that might be happening soon. Stick around. You never know. I have an idea, and I'm not going to say anything other than that, but it's very possible that I get the chance to drive an E-Ray so I can find out for sure what it's like. I hope it happens. I'm gonna make some phone calls in the next week or two and see if I can't make it happen, because I know where I can possibly get one to drive, and I'm gonna see if that's possible. So anyway, E-Ray for me, if I were to choose right now, and if you're looking for a rocket ship, the E-Ray is really, 20, what did they make them, 24, 25, 26? They're going away in 27. And the next thing you're going to be able to do is get the Grand Sport X. So with all of that being said, I'm going to sign off for now. And I'm excited about, I'll be back in 2 weeks like I always do. That puts us to April the 7th. That will be obviously right after Easter, and then we have to look further into that because the 2 weeks after that I'm on vacation, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do a live. I know I won't be able to do a live from the studio anyway, because I'm going to be at, or I have plans to be at, the Corvette Bash in Bowling Green that week. The Corvette Bash goes from April 23rd. It's either the 22nd or the 23rd, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not totally sure, but it goes through Saturday, the 25th. I'm on vacation. I have reservations. I'm going to my first large Corvette show at Bowling Green in my C7. I can't wait. Now, obviously last year I did every car show I went to was basically a Camaro show, and that's because I had a Camaro and I always wanted to go to Corvettes of Carlisle, but I've never gone. And I just didn't see the point in going in a Camaro. So now that I have a Corvette, I have plans to go to Corvettes of Carlisle. Now, I'm not sure that that's going to happen because I don't know. That's quite a ways out yet. But anyway, so 2 weeks from now, I'll be back on April the 7th, 8 o'clock. And then 2 weeks after that, I may do my live from Corvette Bash in Bowling Green. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today on Shop Talk. And let's just kind of hang out and see what happens. Are they really going to make a Camaro? Or is it just more hype from people that want it really bad? Or is it really going to happen? That's question number one. The answer to the other question is, are they going to make a Grand Sport? Yes, in fact, they are going to make one. And they're going to do a second platform, and that's the Grand Sport X. One without a front assist motor, one with. The Grand Sport X will have 721 horsepower. How cool is that, right? So thanks for hanging out with me today on Shop Talk. I am going to sign off for now. We will see you out on the road. Make sure you drive safe. And if you see me at a car show, make sure you stop and say hi. MusicMan, I'm out.